Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crazy Old Folk. And some things been bothering me for many years, and I think it might other people also, and it's access to our personal information. I thought that would be something interesting to talk about today.
Okay. What about it?
Well, it seems that as we grow in technology, we also grow in the ability for many people to access our information.
True.
I mean, they even sell our information now, right?
Yeah. The society has changed and not changed. You know, if we lived in a little Native American village a couple thousand years ago, everybody in the village would know all our business. They'd all know how much wampum we had under our pillow, so to speak, how many deer we had killed in the last year and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went through a period of time where we could be more anonymous. And now, once again, not so much the people living next door to us, but the people, say, in Washington or in Facebook or wherever. And, you know, you and I contribute to it. Just, hey, if you Google Monica Brinkman or Ken Ween, you're going to come on this podcast someplace. There's going to be a link to it. Information. We are always giving information about ourselves. Okay. You opt to use a background for your show, for you on the show. I just sit here in my office so people can look behind me, and behind me they see certain things. They can get clues from those things about where I am, who I am, what I do, how I do it. Okay. It's information.
Yeah, drones do that also.
Yeah. So, you know, the question has never been whether or not we have privacy, nor is it really that we have protection of our data. We don't really. You know, we can all be Googled, we can all be studied, we can all be deep dive, I guess. You know, it's toward what purpose?
Yeah.
Okay. And the biggest purpose up until very recently, the biggest purpose has been, I think, on social media to sell us stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like they're reading your mind, and it's through your IEP address, right? Whatever it is.
Yes.
My wife goes on her computer. She searches. She's not on Facebook anymore, but she searches for, I don't know, connection rods of some kind. I'm just making something up. The next thing I know is on my Facebook feed, I'm getting these things for connection rods. And I go to her and I say, what's a connection rod? I know it's got to be because of her, because it can't have been because of me. But now you come over and visit my home and I tell you how to get on my internet, and you search for Tupperware. And the next thing I'm getting ads for Tupperware. Okay, it's targeted advertisement. And sometimes it gets very funny because the IEP address that I have somehow or other often tells people I'm in Nevada. So then when I go on a commercial-driven TV streaming platform like Tubi, I end up getting all these ads for things in Nevada. So it's an imperfect advertising methodology. And there are rules, by the way. There are rules. Although they can sell me connecting rods, they can't sell me the connecting rod specific that my wife visited or something like that. I mean, there are certain rules about what they can and cannot do. But now, who's getting that information?
Yeah.
And when we get scary type.
They sell it for like $1 or $2 to people.
Yeah, but to whom? Who can get it is the question. I mean, okay, that they have it and it's cheap to sell. Why is it cheap to sell? Because it's cheap to obtain. Every time I use my computer, every time I use my cell phone, I'm giving that information away. And anybody who's here using my internet server is giving it away. Okay, so it's very cheap for them. And the computers, those AI, and it costs nothing to mine it.
Yes.
Okay, but who's using it is the question. Now,
and for what purpose are they using it? If it was just sales, that wouldn't bother me, actually.
Of course. But now, recently, there have been two other things. The first one is TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese-owned social media platform. And TikTok collects a lot of information, especially about young people. Young people spend hours and hours on TikTok.
Yeah, they love it. They're addicted to it.
Building up a profile. Okay, it's a very simple profile. This person is interested in this. How do I know? Because they watched X number of hours of this and none of that. So that's how we know. And there also, because again, it's all driven through the same IPP address or whatever it is, and the same data collection, they can then tie it to other things. And this makes people vulnerable to propaganda, or at least that's what the United States Congress was concerned about. And that's why the US government was trying to stop TikTok. Yes. And that's why the president of the United States is now talking about creating a sovereign fund to purchase TikTok, so that this information mining is under the control of the government.
Yes.
So now we have a new player. And that player is the government or its allies. In this case, the one that's concerning me, and I think you, is a guy known as Elon Musk.
Yes.
Mr. Musk is actually not elected to any position, has never been confirmed even by the United States Senate to any position.
No.
He's being granted by the President of the United States access to data such as Social Security data. Well, my Social Security account is on there, and through it, he knows my medical care, because my Medicare gets paid, and through that, he can access my health conditions. He can access my comings and goings, because my checking account shows where, I've spent money, no longer by checks, but by debit card or by
credit. Yeah.
And all of, the amount of information that Elon Musk and his employees or his henchmen, whatever you want to call them, can mine about me is enormous. Now, what can he use it for? And the answer is he can use it potentially, or somebody can use it potentially to control people.
Yes, that's what is so scary.
They can control, first of all, can they control your income? Yeah. Can they cut off your credit cards? Yes. Okay. They can go in with a click of the button. Legally, no, but there's nothing to stop them once they're in this system.
Yeah.
And then you go to spend your money and you don't have it anymore. But it isn't just money. It isn't just money.
No.
It's everything. Okay, they can keep track of your whereabouts. They can keep track of who you're meeting with. Okay, you go out to have dinner with your friends. You split the bill. There are 6 of you, 3 couples at the table. Yeah. Split the bill 3 ways. Not only can they tell that you ate the chicken cacciatore, and that the other guy
never.
But more to the point, they know you met. They know you were at that table.
Yeah, but they could use this in ways that are so dishonest.
It's very scary. It's very scary. It becomes.
If they wanted to frame somebody.
An electronic surveillance technique that would do the SS proud.
And that is what is so scary.
KGB.
You're right.
And we are facing this in our society, and it's worrisome. And again, as you and I, we're old.
Yeah.
We have that great advantage. We're old. But you know what? The young people today, they see this going on, and and this is creating some very interesting problems in our society that I'd like to talk to about another time. How is it changing the young people to know that these electronic surveillance techniques are there, and what is the choice it's leaving them? And I think that we really need to talk about that. But one of the things that we should acknowledge is that there are a lot of people in our society who have become more and more survivalist, more and more about being off the grid, more and more about hiding out, as it were. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not even sure it's possible to do that anymore, but to the degree it is, they're looking less and less crazy.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know.
Because they were afraid of Big Brother watching them. And the thing is, even if Big Brother is benign, and people always used to say that, well, you don't have to worry if you're not doing anything wrong. Why worry about it? But the answer is, okay, let's go back to one of the biggest things people in this country prize is their right to own a gun, the Second Amendment, right to own a gun. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you own a gun, one of the reasons you may own it is because you're afraid of being taken over, of being mistreated, of being abused. The very people who are doing this deep dive into our data can now you bought how much ammunition did you buy last year? Why did you buy 3 different kinds if you must have at least 3 different weapons? These kind of data are very scary when they're being collected by somebody, and especially to people like us.
Well, I don't give him permission to get and the president has no right to even ask him to do that.
Well, that you may, if you wish, you may now go to court and try and stop that.
That's another thing. I hope there's some attorneys that are going to fight this.
Well, I don't know. I'm not an attorney.
I know the unions have already got attorneys. I know a couple of them did. Yeah. But I'm hoping that there are going to be some attorneys that say, hey, you've gone over the line.
Of course, you have to also remember one more thing, and that's also very scary. Two things. One is that the Supreme Court of this country has gone very far to the right itself and is very supportive of a lot of this craziness.
I don't even consider it the right anymore.
And the other is, they have information. And how that information can be used to squeeze them.
Yes.
So we are living.
That's how they keep them in line in the first place, is they get him they always have these wild parties and everything, and they tape them or they give them money and they don't know they're being taped.
I don't know what Justice Roberts has done. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say he's had wild parties. I don't know he has. I'm just saying that the data that they're mining on you and me, they're also mining on the judges.
No, I'm saying this is how they get control of politicians.
Well, we had a guy.
Not Jeffries.
We had a guy in this country who was doing that incredibly well for a long period of time. His name was J. Edgar Hoover. Mm. And he set himself up as a demigod in Washington.
He was horrible.
Yeah, horrible. We know. At the time, everybody thought he was this great hero, but he really wasn't.
No, he was very mean and vicious, and
but anyway,
power.
Well, again, information gives you power, and power corrupts.
It does. Well,
with that thought, I guess we're out of time for this segment.
Yeah, and I hope that the people will think about this, and maybe we can get together as people once again one day. Okay, folks, bye-bye.